Hey, Pastor Terry.
Well, hey, Linda, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I just packed the last bag.
Really?
Yeah, I'm so excited. I love doing this.
Oh, I think it's awesome, too. We're going to talk about that. I've just been kind of sitting here thinking about, praying about our Friday thoughts and
Oh, okay.
what to say about our life together this week and what's going on. And, some days you just don't know.
It's been a crazy week that way.
It's been a crazy week. I was looking at some of the headlines and what's the reality we're facing, and here's what I found. Here's our reality. 10.4 million cases of the coronavirus now. 127,000 new cases every day. It's about 74 new cases every minute.
That's unbelievable.
That's scary. It says that we have now 242,000 deaths in America, 1,100 deaths every day, and we're on track that by Christmas we'll have more than 300 who have died from the virus. That's just scary stuff.
Very scary. I know in our county alone last night, they said we had 101 cases.
Yeah.
It continues to rise.
It just keeps going up at an astronomical rate. So I was thinking about that, and I saw a new headline said 54 million Americans are going hungry and 205.4 million Americans are at risk of having their utilities disconnected. And so I'm thinking about all that stuff, and this is the only image that I had that kind of think, this is our reality. Maybe Matt can zoom in on that. I'm a little stressed right now. Just turn around and leave quietly and no one gets hurt, and it's almost like that's how you feel some days.
And like you just said though, think about this. People are in the midst of this pandemic. They're going hungry and they might have no heat in their homes.
Yeah.
That makes it even scarier that it's a dark winter and
It really is.
It's real.
And so as you think about that, where I was finding myself going with scriptures today was 1 Peter, and I went and picked up one of the Bibles that we use with confirmands, the student Bible, and I turned to 1 Peter, and an introduction simply says a word to the suffering, what to do when trouble comes. And it simply begins with a quote. There's always an introduction for the kids, but there's a quote at the beginning from the 4th chapter, verse 12. Beloved, do not be surprised by the fiery ordeal that's taking place among you. It's there to test you, as though something strange were happening to you. And, you got to think about that. Mm-hmm. And so Paul, as he starts this particular book to a struggling church, to people going through difficult, suffering times, he begins by saying, blessed be the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ. Offers that blessing. It's by his great mercy that God has given us a new birth to a living hope through the resurrection of Christ from the dead, into an inheritance that's imperishable, undefiled, unfading, kept for each of us in heaven. And we are it's being protected by the power of God through faith, to be revealed in the end. And so we can rejoice even though we go through trials for a little while. And I think of that. And I remember so well for me years ago when I did my internship, my supervisor one time said, Terry, you need to always remember 1 Peter. He talked about 1 Peter chapter 3, that simply says, always be prepared to give a reason for the hope that is in you, but do it gently and with respect. And so I guess I wanted to share that with the congregation today. How are we able to give a reason for the hope that's in us? How we always have to be prepared to do that. And how do we do that with gentleness and with respect?
It being November and Thanksgiving's around the corner, I think sometimes we have to think about the gratitude, about the joy, that even in the tough times, and when we feel lost and maybe there's no hope, that there's so much to be thankful for.
Yeah.
That God gives us teeny tiny blessings each and every day.
So as we give thanks, it's not about ignoring or pretending that the struggles aren't there. It's acknowledging them openly. And even as we acknowledge those struggles, then it's the ability to see beyond the brokenness and the mess and the struggle, to see the little snippets of gift along the way.
And those are the little things that bring joy to our hearts
Oh.
and give us the peace and the calm that we need
Yeah.
in the midst of storms.
Yeah. You know, we want to be able to say to you as congregational members, as staff, we go through our ups and downs too. And this last week has been a week filled with anxiety as the numbers go up and down, and we try to figure creative new ways to do ministry and to be engaged with you. That's not always easy. One of the good things that really keeps me going is the amazing sense of humor and the ability for us to laugh together, to be able to play together even and pray together even as we do the important work of shared ministry.
That's why we have a squirrel.
That's why we, absolutely, because they're squirrely things and ideas come out of the blue and we're just shocked, and then all of a sudden, let's really think about that, and it gives you a whole new take that you hadn't seen before.
That gives you a chance to think outside of the box, beyond yourself and beyond the normal, what we
Yeah.
think is what we need to do. And we see a new picture, and maybe that's God giving us a new vision
Yeah.
to look forward to. And He brings us in that point to the point of some hope. To
Absolutely.
continue and pull us forward toward Him.
So what we did here is we surrounded ourselves today with some of the things that we're doing with that. We're surrounded here by these, Operation Christmas Child boxes. That's part of our tradition here at Trinity, part of what we've done for many, many years, and we usually pull together some 150 boxes or
Well,
more.
I think Coke said there's almost 250 boxes.
250 boxes. And so this weekend we bless them as we prepare to send them out. And that's something we've done for a long, long time. But this year we're having to go about filling these boxes in a whole new way. So the concept didn't go away, but the ways in which we do it has been dramatically changed. And yet the ability to still pull together 250 boxes, to me, is an amazing story.
And the hope that those kids have when they open it up and find a warm pair of socks, a washcloth, some soap, a toothbrush, and toothpaste.
Yeah.
That in itself, it's not always the toys inside, it's those things that,
No.
that share comfort and love with them.
Maybe contrary to some of our American kids, the toys take the lesser role, and the socks and the washcloth and those things mean more because of what they don't have.
Exactly.
We also have here a coat, just as a reminder of the outerwear fair. Bonnie's been doing that for more than 25 years. That's just an amazing thing. But this year, not like ever before. Having to do it outside, using the garage space, and we've had coats out there now for more than a month,
Yes.
and yet every week Bonnie gets new calls of somebody saying, can you help? And so she's kept them out there as a way to be able to take them through that and find ways to fulfill the needs of families that are struggling.
And we know there'll be a lot more calls coming, and she's more than prepared for that.
Yeah, as it keeps getting colder and colder. The other thing that we came up with somewhere earlier in this pandemic, we started a phone tree and made sure every week somebody was getting a phone call. Some of you said after a while, we don't need you to call every week, and we kind of set it aside for the summer months, but we're reviving that phone tree now as it gets colder, wanting to make sure that we're checking in with one another. It's important for us to find a way to connect. And so the phone tree has been an important piece of our life together as a community of faith. The other thing that we decided to do was, on a month-to-month basis, bring out care packages, particularly to some of our folk who are shut in or in need. And so we've been doing that, creatively thinking up new different care packages that we take out each month. And particularly we decided this month to try something a little bit different, not just for shut-ins and that kind of thing, but this is a sample of that. Would you say something about that?
We decided to do care packages for teachers, administrators in the schools, because you guys are working hard. They are giving more than they have on their hands, especially if they have a family. But we have decided that giving them a small gift of appreciation and support is what we need to do, and it's surrounded with love and prayers that we are with them as they walk through this hard time.
Yeah. I love that. And if you can't see it here, I love it. We can't mask our appreciation for everything you do. May you be proud of the work you do, the person you are, the difference that you make. Thank you. You are appreciated. Keeping you in our prayers. And it's not only from the staff, but also the kids at Trinity. And so we want to say to all the teachers, the staff, administrators, custodians, bus drivers, whoever it is connected to the school system, you really matter. You make a difference every single day to those kids, but also to their families, and ultimately to the future for our world. And so we want to say thank you. And that's just a small snippet of some of the things we do. We also decided this month, because it's Thanksgiving month, we were concerned, as we know that things are closing down and families aren't going to be able to get together quite in the same way that they normally do for Thanksgiving. We started asking the question, is the community meals, that's not happening. Are they going to do the Chisago Lakes Lutheran Church Thanksgiving meal? And they are going to do something around that, but it's a takeout form of a meal. But we just kind of started dreaming about that early on, and we've made arrangements with Deutschland Meats. They're going to prepare somewhere around 100 meals for us, Thanksgiving meals. And we are going to be coming together on Thanksgiving morning with members of the church who will be drivers, members who want to donate a pie or something like that for a dessert. We'll prepare that, so we'll have a full Thanksgiving meal, a dessert, and a care package to go with that, that we'll be bringing out to members of the congregation who may need that this year in particular. And we're trying to do it in a way that we can be the most responsible to not spread the virus, but to make sure that people have a sense of being valued and cherished and loved. And all of this that we're talking about today, for me, goes back to that verse from 1 Peter 3. Always be ready to give a reason for the hope that's in you. And, you know, we do it with gentleness, with respect. And you are part of the reason for the hope that's in us. It begins with Jesus, and it goes from Jesus to us and through us to the people we've come to know and to cherish and to love. And so we continue to share that with you and count it a joy, a privilege, an honor, as well as a responsibility. And so you are in our prayers, and you are beloved, and you are appreciated, and we want you to know that. So thanks.